I'm here tonight, and just had something I wanted to just say to you all. We see that people are coming on. I know it's late. This won't be too terribly long. At least I hope not. But for those of you that were following me earlier about the righteous cry and the 7 days, I didn't forget about you guys. I just had to take a little moment, take a little breather for myself. And so I was not able to do that like I desired, but I am going to do that. And I probably will start Monday with that. All right. So forgive me for that, but we're back there with it. And so tonight won't be about the righteous cry, but tonight is going to be about a question that someone asked me, would I address? A young lady sent me this question and wanted to know if I would address it. And I've gotten it several times in the last couple of weeks. And I thought, okay, I'll just take about 20, 30 minutes here tonight and address it. And some of you may start logging off as soon as you hear the topic because it may not apply to you, but it may apply to someone that you know. And so if it does, share this tonight. If it doesn't, I understand if you log off tonight, all right? But a question was asked of me, and I need to put the title in there. Dating married men. Dating married men. And they asked me my opinion. They said, Dr. Capehart, what is your opinion on that? What does the word of the Lord say? How do you feel about Christian women dating married men? Okay. And I want to put my title in here for you guys. And therefore, for everyone's joining us, let's just get a couple of people in there. And here's the take. And this is going to be quick. I won't hold you too long tonight. But here's the deal. My opinion. And there are some things that I wrote down, just some little nuggets. And I pray that the individuals that have asked me to address this question or asked me my opinion about it, I pray that they're either watching tonight or that they can come on and watch it later and give me their feedback. And for those of you, I want you to also give some feedback in this. Okay, here's my deal. Not that Dr. Capehart always have the right answers or the whatever, but they did ask me my opinion, so here it is. I'm going to jump in it. How did I feel about dating married men? Now, first, I will tell you this right out of the gate, that the person that asked me the question recently, now I get it all the time about dating married men. I get it all. The question, y'all will just, no, you wouldn't be shocked. You wouldn't be shocked or something. Listen, I get questions asked of me sometimes. I sit and I shake my head, and I've asked the Lord on many occasions, why in the world did he put this kind of mandate on my life? And of course, the enemy always try to hit me with certain things, but I've come to the conclusion that I'm anointed for it. I'm anointed for the assignment. I'm anointed for the mandate. I'm anointed for the questions. And therefore, if I'm anointed for the mandate and the questions, I'm also anointed for the hit. Okay, and I think that's a sermon right there. I'm anointed for the hit, because anytime that God gives you an assignment of something to do, then the enemy is going to hit you. He is going to challenge you. He is going to hit you in that area first. So I just want to let you know that tonight I am anointed for the hit. So here's the discussion, the question. The most recent one, that person that asked me that question said, how did I feel about dating married men if the man was separated from his wife? If the man was separated from his wife. They asked me my opinion and my opinion on it. And I said right out of the gate, I would address it immediately. And of course, I didn't get a chance to do it the other day. So here I am tonight. Love you too, son. Here's the deal. I said the first thing out of the gate, if you're going to date a married man, if you are going to date a married man, be it he is still with his wife or he's separated from his wife, first of all, now, here's the deal from me. Biblically, you shouldn't date a married man, because if he's married and you're not married, or if you're not married to him, then it's adultery. And then some people say, well, we may not be sleeping together. We'll deal with that in just a moment. I don't believe the word of the Lord allows a Christian woman or a Christian man to date anyone else other than their spouse while they are married. Here, let me give you this. First thing is because they are still, if you're going to date a married man, you need to understand this. He is still connected emotionally, spiritually, and legally to his wife. If you are going to date a married man, be it he is still with his wife or he's separated from his wife, first of all, now, here's the deal from me. Biblically, you shouldn't date a married man, because if he's married and you're not married, or if you're not married to him, then it's adultery. And then some people say, well, we may not be sleeping together. We'll deal with that in just a moment. I don't believe the word of the Lord allows a Christian woman or a Christian man to date anyone else other than their spouse while they are married. Here, let me give you this. First thing is because they are still, if you're going to date a married man, you need to understand this. He is still connected emotionally, spiritually, and legally to his wife, even if he may be physically separated from her. Physically, he may be living in his own apartment. She may be even in a different state or a different country or a different nation or a different whatever. Emotionally and spiritually and legally, he is still tied to his wife. Okay. Second thing that many women who doesn't think of this next thing that I'm going to say, most of the time they never think of this when they want to date a married man, even if he's separated from his wife. I don't care. They say they can tell you that we're going to get a divorce. Okay, let's take that angle. They're going to get a divorce. They're separated. He has his own apartment. She's at the house. He left the house. But one thing that most people never ever think about is he is still married to her. Okay? And if he is still married to her, do you not know that he could sleep with his wife and it's not adultery? It's only adultery if he's with you. So let's just say she calls one day and they're having a little moment and he decides to go over to the house while you're dating this married man. And he goes over to the house and why? Because he's still emotionally, spiritually, and legally connected to his wife. So he could go over any time of night, any time of day, sleep with her 2 or 3 times a day, 2 or 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a month, while y'all going around the corner just visiting and dating. And that is not adultery, my friend, if he's still sleeping with his wife while he is dating you. He can sleep with his wife, and that's not adultery. It's only adultery when he's messing with you. Okay, so I want you to understand that. So a lot of times single women who want to simply say, well, he said that they're getting a divorce. Then why can't you wait until he gets the divorce? Why put yourself in a position to date a man who is not available? Let me explain to you this way, and maybe then it'll make sense. It's like paying a mortgage for a house that's not available for sale. You're not renting it. There's a difference in renting, because renting means you have a lease to live there. But when you date a married man, it is like you are paying a mortgage on somebody else's house. You don't have rights to it. They can put you out at any time. It's not even available for sale. And yet you putting furniture in there. You painting walls. Come on now. It makes absolutely no sense. Building emotions with someone who is not emotionally free. I don't care what they tell you. Why put yourself into that situation? So my advice to you tonight is simply this. And another thing, this is another thing that most people do not think about when they, hold on just a second. Another thing that most people do not think about whenever they hook up with a married man. And I want to share this with you because I want you to really think about this. I want you to really think about this. If he is married to a woman that he once loved, a woman that he's been with before, a woman that he made a vow to love, honor, and cherish. If he is with, he separated from her, and now he comes to you and he's dating you, and he's comfortable with dating you while he is still married. Okay? Think about that. If a man is going to date you while he's married, what makes you think that his commitment to you, or whatever he tells you, when you hook up with him and you marry him, he won't do the same thing again on you? And then you're going to be the wife being cheated on, or the wife who's having to deal with the other woman. See, people don't think about that. People don't think about that. I've seen women who get these men, then they marry them, and then you dated him, you cheated with him as the other woman, and then when you became the woman, now you mad because now you are the other woman. Did that make sense to you? I hope it did. See, you were okay with being the side, I don't like to call it a side chick. You were okay with being the other woman when you were dating him and he was still married. But then you get him, and maybe if he decides to marry you, and then now you're the one looking and following him and putting and checking phone. Why? Because you know his behavior. Because you already knew you knew you married a cheater. Why? Because he cheated with you. So even when you marry him, you already know the possibility of his nature and of his character. Why? Because that's how you got it. So why put yourself in that position? Why put yourself in that position? Wait, if you really like this guy. First of all, I have a problem with married men or married women even lurking and looking. Don't be lurking and looking while you still connected. This is what you should be doing. If you know that your current relationship is over, then make sure that it is over legally, over emotionally, and over spiritually. Once you shut the doors on all of those things, then that's when you open up your heart again. Let me give you my fourth little thing here. I think that's my fourth. Yeah, my fourth one. Here's the fourth one. How do you know that you're not rebound love? Never date someone whose heart is still attached emotionally to their prior relationship. Why? Because they can't give you nothing, honey. Y'all just spending time together. That's not building a relationship. You don't have anything to build it on. You have nothing to build it on. They're not connected to you. You're just somebody, and when you date someone who is still emotionally, they're not emotionally healed, they're not emotionally ready to move forward in another relationship. And this is how I am. Any person who can jump into another relationship immediately after severing their prior relationship tells me one key thing: you were never in love with your mate. Because if you were truly in love with your mate, that takes time to get over them. And then it also tells me another thing. If you can jump into a relationship immediately after being severed from your marriage or whatever, then another sign is you had already been left that marriage emotionally. You just was waiting on the opportunity to leave physically. Many people, and I posted this earlier, many people, just because someone is there with you physically does not mean that they are attached to you emotionally. And most relationships are either over emotionally long before they are over physically. Many relationships are over emotionally long before they are ended physically. Okay? So this is what you have to do. You find yourself, and let me just give you some advice. This is just my advice. You don't have to take my advice. My advice sometimes doesn't mean a thing. You don't have to take it, but I give it because I really believe that's my call and my mandate from God in this area. But if you don't like what I say, then just log off, go find somebody else going to give you the answer that you seek. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is my advice. Don't date anyone who's currently married. That's my first advice. Also, don't date someone who is currently in a relationship. In a relationship. I don't care if they ain't not married. Don't date them if they are in a relationship, because that says something. That should send a flag to you. If they are messing around with me while they are married or connected to someone else, they have the capability of going to do it, and they cannot love you the way you desire to be loved. And you're saying something else to yourself, then you don't have any standards. You don't have any goals or standards. Because why would you want someone who is going home to sleep with someone else? Or why would you want to date someone who's telling you that they are single? And yes, I'm going to be divorced. Yeah, I'm going to leave her. And then, let me tell you, this is another thing I have. Now, y'all can agree with me or you don't have to. I cannot stand to have someone who sit up and talk about someone who they were connected to, who they were married to, with somebody they trying to get with. No, you going to dog them out. You're going to be dogging me out next when you get mad with me. So don't sit up. Anybody that will sit up to you and talk about their wife or their husband, what they're doing or not doing, that should serve a sign to you. They're going to disrespect you when they get mad with you. So let me tell you, don't do it. Don't be so desperate. Don't be so hard up just to say you are in a relationship. I don't care what lies they tell you. Desperate people lie. And if they cheating with you and messing around with you, what in the world would make you think they're going to tell you the truth? He told me he leaving her. That's what he told me. He told me he didn't want her. He told me. Fool. Why would you believe it? Because he said it. Don't put yourself in that situation. Wait until the relationship is over. Now watch this now. Watch this. Watch this. When the relationship is over, when the marriage is over, I promise your little side piece is going to be over too. Because once they are truly free, they want to be free. Anybody that genuinely wants to be free from their relationship, from their marriage, from their day-to-day relationship, they don't want to be bound with you when their marriage is over. You're just a fling. You're just somebody that they can call and roll in the sheets with. You're just somebody that's going to do whatever they want you to do when you want them to do it. But as soon as they are free as a bird, they're going to walk and fly like a bird. And they're not going to run into your arms. And then the next thing you need to know is, if they're genuinely hurt, maybe they got hurt in their marriage. Maybe they got cheated on in their marriage. Maybe there were some things that did happen to wound their spirit within the marriage. And now you come along and they see you and you just, and then they, if my wife was like you, then I wouldn't be cheating on her. If my wife was like you, listen, don't fall for that lie. Don't fall for that lie. Because if you really are the woman that they desire, hear me good. If you're really the woman that they desire, and they really desire a good woman, then they won't be cheating with you, because they would respect you. They would honor you. And if they can't honor you and marry you, then come on now. Then they don't want you. If they cannot honor you, if they cannot respect you, they do not want you. And just because a man will have sex with you doesn't mean he want to make a life with you. You could just be something he just want at that moment. And I don't know why in the world, but he flew to see me, and they fly prostitutes all over the country. A man will walk across hell on a cotton string just to, Ooh, I can't say what I want to say because I almost said it. I almost said it. Y'all almost made me say it. But he will. It isn't, and you get all caught up because he calling you. Because he sent me some flowers. He took me to dinner. He can take you everywhere but to the altar. And even then, that's a sign. Even if he puts a ring on it, that doesn't seal the deal either. Why? Why does that not seal the deal? Because he's married now, cheating with you. He's married now, telling you he's going through a divorce. And if he can easily leave her, he can surely, easily leave you. Okay? Listen. Today, I want to give you some more advice. Don't fall for that lie. We separated. You got to do your own investigation. And investigate before you get your heart all tied up. I don't know how you single women do it now. I don't know how you do it. I don't know. Get your girlfriend to check him out. Get somebody to check them out to make sure that they're not married. Don't fall for that lie, I'm single. Don't fall for that lie, we separated. Even if he's separated, my advice to you tonight is do not date a married man. Don't date him until he's divorced. And then don't date him right after he gets a divorce. He's not ready to be married. He needs time to heal. He needs space to figure out what he wants. Or you, my dear, is going to simply be a side chick for however long you let him chick. That's all you're going to be. I don't care how good he treats you. He just showed you he can't commit right now. Now, I'm going to take a few little questions or a few little comments, and I'm going to be out. I hope I help somebody just right there because, listen, for those of you that are joining in, when you date a married man who is still legally married to his wife, I don't care what happened, he can still sleep with his wife. I don't care if they have separate apartments, separate countries, separate whatever. And this can happen. Remember, he has history with this woman. And he can sleep with her, and that is not adultery. That is not adultery. A man and a woman who is legally married can sleep together whenever they feel like it. It is adultery when someone else comes in the picture. And then whoever the married person is or the person he's messing with, then they both are committing adultery. Okay? So you know, you have to respect yourself enough. You have to respect yourself enough. Do not, and I can't stress it enough. How many people I've counseled, how many people I done listened to cry, and when they start talking to me and, well, I didn't know he was married because he didn't tell me he was married, and did you ask? Did you do your investigation? Did you find out some stuff, or did you just go on everything he said? Single women and single men, whoever's listening to me tonight, y'all start doing some investigation. Ask some questions. I've had women come to me, well, I thought he was working at such and so. Come to find out, the joker didn't even have a job. He renting the cousins. He owned the cousin's car, coming to see them. You got a whole nother family over here. You got a whole nother something over here. People crossing the states to see women. I've had cases where people have women in a whole bunch of women in other cities because you truck driving. Come on. I just, if that's the lifestyle that you want, go for it. I can't tell you you're going to have a blessed life or a happy life or a godly life because it's not godly. Why put yourself in that situation? And then let me say this. Then you married women who know that women are messing with your husband. Let me tell you something. You better not ever, especially those who follow me, who listening to me, don't ever contact a woman messing with your husband. First of all, you make yourself look crazy. Second of all, your beef is not with her. Your beef is with the one that made the covenant vow to you. So don't do that. if you are still connected, you're still married, you ought to go to your mate, and your mate alone. Not the person that they miss. I've seen people, they gonna call them, leave my husband alone. Do you know how dumb you sound? Leave my husband alone. Leave my husband alone. But your husband keep coming over messing with them. Your husband keep texting them. Your husband keep calling them. No, you talking to the wrong one. And then y'all getting in little cat fights, Facebook wars, going on social media, putting dumb stuff on social media. All the texts that he put, this, he at my house right now. You see he at my house? Oh, my Lord. I wish sometime I could help some people. I really do wish I can help people, but I can't. Some people just don't want advice, but at least I try. You sending them pictures that he had at your house. You sending them, posting the pictures of the flower he sent you. Do you really know how dumb and ignorant that is? And childish, immature, crazy that is. And he's sitting up there laying in the bed with her, and you texted talking about what he sent you, and he laying over there beside her. You got an issue? Deal with the person that made the vow with you, and them alone. The other person, whatever y'all call them nowadays, they have no commitment to you. No commitment to you. None at all. So, for the ladies who sent me the message, ask me, will I address briefly about, in my opinion, on dating married men who are separated, and some of you ladies who are married, and you are separated from your husband. Don't jump in a relationship and start dating somebody. Don't start dating anybody. Go somewhere and get healed. That's what you need to do. You know why you need to be healed? You need to be totally detached from your marriage, your mate, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and legally before you enter another relationship. Why? Why? If you don't go somewhere and get healed, you're going to repeat this cycle again. Most people jump into another relationship simply because they're not healed. They're trying to prove something to their mate. Like I can get me somebody else. Or you're trying to prove something to yourself. There's nothing wrong with me, so I got to see if I still got it. See, the enemy talking to your mind, telling you, because he told you to lie, don't nobody want you. Don't nobody want you. And so now that you talking to yourself, something must be wrong with me. So in order to prove that, you go drop a couple of pounds, go join Weight Watchers, get your hair hooked up, put on your clothes, and I think you should look good, but then you go try to make somebody holler at you, and you jump into a relationship so that your spouse can find out, hey, she got somebody else. That doesn't mean you've moved on. Just because you enter another relationship does not mean you have moved on. And just because you are physically in another relationship does not mean you have moved on emotionally. And most people move on physically, and very few move on emotionally. Because if you truly loved your mate, it is hard to move on as quickly emotionally. If you truly love them, you got to go somewhere, grieve the loss of that relationship, grieve the pain of that relationship, grieve the hurt of that relationship, grieve the embarrassment of that relationship, grieve whatever you need to grieve, but give yourself time to grieve before you hook up with somebody else. Don't go mess up somebody else's life emotionally because you are emotionally messed up. Admit you are emotionally wounded because of the relationship, and give yourself time. But do not enter another relationship while you are still married. I don't care if it takes you 2 or 3 years to get the divorce. Then 2 or 3 years you sit your hiney somewhere and sit still while you heal. Now that'll preach. Sit still while you heal. Don't mess up someone else's life. Okay? I pray that something I just said gonna help somebody. If not, then oh well. I pray that the individuals that sent that. Now, does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry. Does anybody have any questions that you want to ask me concerning just the topic? Don't ask me something else outside of the topic so we can stay focused on this, because a lot of people have asked me this, and many of them were already in a relationship, and my advice to them was to end that relationship, because God will not honor and will not bless even if the person is a good person, even if you've fallen in love with the person. One of the young ladies, a young lady sent me a inbox message that, and my heart went out to them, because they told me, they said, Dr. Capehart, the sad thing and that I'm struggling with now is I've messed around and fallen in love with them. So it's now very, very hard to do. And even if you have fallen in love with them, that's where maturity and restraints come in at. And I told them, do not speak to that person again until you are divorced, because God's not going to honor that. God is, I don't care if that person is the best thing since sliced bread. I don't care if they just love, honor, and cherish you. God will not honor it, people. He will not honor it, and it won't be blessed. Wait until you're healed. Wait until you are divorced. Wait until, and then even after the divorce, just because you are divorced or they are divorced doesn't mean then now you are emotionally ready to be in another relationship. You've got to wait until your heart is healed. You've got to wait until your mind is straight. You've got to get your finances back in line. People don't think about all this stuff. If you were in a marriage and now you're going through a divorce, nobody ever thinks or tell you that that man may not have nothing financially to give you. He may have emotionally, if he's ready to move on emotionally, but financially he may not be ready for a relationship. Why? He just came out of a marriage. She may have taken everything. So you don't think about that. All you want is a man in the sheets. A man in the sheets. I want somebody to be with me. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. But are you ready to take care of him? Are you ready to pay the car note because she's got the car? Are you ready to pay 2 mortgages? Are you ready to pick up the pieces from his broken credit that's all jacked up and messed up? Are you ready? Are you ready now for him to compare you to his previous wife? Because now he's used to things done a certain way. Are you ready for all of that? People don't think about all of that stuff. You just want a man in the sheets. But it's one thing. Don't be so quick to just simply say, I want a man to make love to me who is not capable of loving me. It is impossible. It is impossible. It is impossible. And there is a difference. There is a difference from having sex and having just, the little couple of minutes. And most women, I believe most of you want love. But he cannot make love to you if he is incapable of loving you. Now, I hope that right there helped somebody. That statement right there. I just really pray that helped you. And very few people want counseling after a relationship has been severed that they truly loved. You got to get counseling. You got to get healed. And many people need to go seek professional counseling. You need to go somewhere and sit on somebody's couch, or cry on somebody's couch, or get under their desk and just cry your eyes out and admit, I did everything I could for that relationship to work. But you don't allow yourself to date while you're still married. They said, one of the person said, well, all we do is just go to the movies and we just go out to dinner. Keep on going to the movies. Keep letting them take you to the movies. They're going to take you to the motel next. Because that's all it's going to lead to. You know why? Because they're emotionally seeking a void of the separation. And you, my dear, may not be loved. You may not even be liked. They may not even like you. You're just a void filler. That's all you are. You're a void filler. And you're just there. They're so broken. They're wounded. And they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to cry to. And men don't cry. Do you not know that men releases their emotions through sexual intercourse? That's how they release their emotions. Men ain't going to sit up and talk to you about what's going on. Their release comes by releasing. by embracing somebody or someone. They don't even have to know your name. Trust me now. I'm trying to help somebody. They don't even have to know your name. When a man is going through emotionally, that's what he looks for. A sexual release. And so you think he loved you because he called you, because he doing all, oh, he want me. And then he's sitting up there telling you what his wife's not doing. And so now what you doing is, I'm going to do what she didn't do. So that's going to make him want me. And honey, let me tell you something. If he really was in love with his wife, you can stand on your head, naked as a jaybird in the bed, with your 4-inch heels on. If he was really in love with his wife, all it takes is one moment for her to go back. My last point, and I'm going to be done. Are you prepared? While you call yourself dating this married man, are you prepared that if that relationship is salvageable, is recovered, if they are reunited, are you prepared? See, no, I know you're not. No, you're not prepared because you don't think about that, because he told you it's over. I'm done with her. And do you not know there may be more of you? You may not be the only side, because a man got 2 sides. And he got a front and a back. So he may have a whole bunch of stuff going on. And you might not be prepared for that. All right. I hope I help somebody. All right. Anybody have a quick question? Somebody said, what's that? If you don't entertain it, he'll stop. Yeah, he will. But let me tell you what a man will do. Let me tell you what a man will do. A man will wait you out. A man will wait you out because a man will find out what bait you bite. And so that's the bait he'll use. Even if a man, because a man is fishing in a pond. Let me just describe it like this. A man will go fishing in a pond. And in his little bucket, he'll have all kind of bait. Because it just depends. Because he realizes in the pond are more than one kind of fish. So what he's doing is he'll bait you with one thing and bait her with another thing and bait this one with another thing. And whoever gonna bite, that's the one he catch that night. And a good fisherman will wait you out. They just keep on. Keep on. And sooner or later, there's a tug on the line. And you're like, he said, can I come over? No. Don't come over. He'll call you again. Can I come over? Send you an inbox. Send you a text. And some of y'all, let me hit this while I'm there hitting. Some of you single women, listen, I see some of you single women on Facebook sometime and social media, and I'm like, you be up late at night, be talking about you can't sleep. Come on now, I may be married, but I'm not dumb, and neither is a lurking fool. They know what you know what you're doing, and they know what you're doing. I can't sleep. Anybody else up? Why are you inviting a snake? Why are you opening the door to a lustful moment? Why are you doing that? Why are you putting on there what's going on with you emotionally? You know why you doing that? Because you letting the enemy know I'm available. You letting me, and so then somebody log in your inbox. Well, how you doing? I saw you were up. Then you want to holler at the devil. No, that you invited him. You can't give the devil the keys to your playground and then get mad when he show up to play. You gave him the key. And you left the gate open. So you can't get angry with the enemy with that. You got to stop. You got to stop making an invite and opening yourself up to those kinds of invitations. When you are single and you know that you're in a vulnerable moment, then that ain't the time to be saying nothing on Facebook, social media. That's not. Listen, there are certain individuals you shouldn't even take calls from. If you already know they married, listen, y'all ain't got no business talking about the weather. You already know you attracted to him. Your co-workers. He ain't got no business taking you home. He has no business you sitting down eating lunch with him, and you already know him and his wife going through something. And so you sitting your single self up there, and you're talking with him, and you already know that he's single. So don't act dumb when he make a pass at you. Tell me, he just said, no, you already knew the situation. A married man has no business pouring out, saying anything about what he's going through with no single woman. Well, no married woman either. Because married, you can still cheat with, be married, and both of you are committing adultery. So you don't do that. All right? Is there a question? Let me see if I can read these questions. Y'all just saying amen. Come on. Any quick questions? Pray and take yourself to sleep. Amen. Or call somebody. There's nothing wrong with, you all have heard me say this many, many times. There is nothing wrong because you can't say to a single person that those sexual urges or to be with someone is going to leave. That's how God programmed you. You are going to desire a mate. There are going to be days and seasons where you are lonely. You're going to see certain people, and it's going to trigger those triggers in you. But when you know someone is married, I don't care if they tell you, me and my wife going through something, we are separated, we gonna get a divorce, then you wait until you see some paperwork, and then you still give them time. Because I have a problem with people who already got their eye on you and they still married. They gonna be lurking and looking when they hook up with you. And so don't you come crying when you marry them. Don't you go crying, he cheating on me with the woman at work. No, did you forget he met you at work while he was married? So don't even set yourself up like that. All right, question. I'm still waiting on y'all to ask a question. All right, I've been talking long enough. Gotta go eat my lunch or my supper. I know it's late and I shouldn't be eating this late. That's a whole nother periscope right there. What do you think about women? Oh, I missed it. Ask it again, whoever that was. And the devil is attacking and on the rampage about this message. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Now let me tell you why I don't believe that you should date a married man. But I'm not going to call a woman who dates a married man, I'm not going to demean her like I hear some people calling them a whore, a slut, a homewrecker, and all of this. Because let me tell you who I have more of the problem with. I have more of the problem with the person that's married. I have more of a problem with them than I do the person who is not married dating a married man. Okay? I think that this particular individual feels that they have to settle, or may feel so lonely, or maybe going through some things. And this is why we need to continue to do teachings like this, so that we can give them strength to walk out. I have prayed with many, many, many young women, to get out of adulterous affairs. I have prayed, honey, I've even done altar calls for it. I've prayed, and some of them were driving cars that they had given him. I'll share this with you real quickly in case somebody have a question. I prayed with a woman that was dating a married man, and the Lord told me to tell her. I didn't know this woman from anybody. I just looked at her and I said, sweetheart, the Lord told me to tell you, if you will trust him and give this man back this car, God's going to bless you. And she looked and just began to cry, and she began to weep. And I said, honey, if you trust God, I don't care if you have to walk, I don't care if you have to catch the bus, give this man back the car. And you trust God. He's married, and the Spirit of the Lord said, get out. And she did. She went and gave this man back her car, and I didn't know the whole story, but her credit was bad, and there was a lot of things going on with her. And I think either that week or the following week, God blessed her with a car. And she sent me the message. She said, woman of God, I'm so grateful. She said, I had been in it for years, and I thought that that's all I could get, was what I could get, time with him when he wasn't with his wife. No holidays, no special days. Come on now. If a man can't show you in public, you should not show him in private. Come on now. If he can't show you off in public, stop showing off for him in private. That's bottom line. Anybody have a question? I cover all of this in my book. I was a wife and married almost 30 years, and the other woman thought that they were the only one. Absolutely. I pray that those whose eyes are blinded by this deception come open. Yes. And it's what the enemy does. What is your advice on young women who desire to be married but truly fear it? Well, that would be a different Facebook Live, and I don't mind doing that, but I would rather just stay on the ones who are dating a married man. That's what I want to stay on for right now, but I will take note of that and will address it. Why do men not take time to get healed after a relationship? Because men can be very prideful. They can be very selfish. And most men don't think that they need healing. And the truth of the matter is, men need just as much healing as women. Just as much healing as women. Because men get hurt in marriage too. And a lot of people think, well, men don't want their marriage to work. That's not true. That's not true. There are a lot of men who do a whole lot of things to try to get their marriages to work. And unfortunately, the marriage didn't make it. But they still need healing. I am not an advocate of jumping into another relationship, even if you were just dating somebody and you dated them extensively for a long time. I still think you need healing after that. And the reason why people keep continuing the cycle is because they don't go back and learn, what did I do wrong in this relationship? And most single people who keep jumping from this, you sleep with them. You sleep with them. And the moment you keep sleeping with them, they already know that I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to marry you. I want somebody that's not going to let me sleep with them. Because if you don't let me sleep with you while I'm dating you, then I know you're not going to let somebody sleep with you when I marry you. That's how men think. And that's how it should be, really. All right? All right. About 10 more minutes. There's a large number of women who have boyfriends on the side as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So I'm saying it to both, but I just put it in the topic, dating a married man. But it works, and I hope I'm doing a good job of going back and forth. But there are women who have, their little side pieces and calling them. But most of the time, women will have an affair, but they don't want to come out of the marriage. Most of the ones that I have counseled, I'm sure there are some, but most of the ones that I've counseled, the women wanted the marriage to stay intact. And there are a lot of men that think this way too. They wanted the marriage to stay intact. They just wanted to, roll in the sheets and have a good time, do something, maybe he not doing. And they let it be known up front, this is what all I want to do. I'm not looking to marry. And there are a lot of people said, I want to date you, I want to do this, but I'm not going to marry you, I'm not leaving my wife for you. And some women, unfortunately, and some men are comfortable with that foolishness. I knew a woman, and I'm going to share this with you, and I'm going to let you go. I knew a woman that I counseled, let me see how many years. I know over 4, almost 5 years, trying to get her to leave an adulterous relationship that she had been in for 20 years. 20 years. And I know y'all don't believe me. I know you don't believe me. 20 years this woman allowed this man come over to her house. She would cook for him, do certain things for him, have sex with him, knowing he's going back home to his wife. She said, but I loved him, and I believed he cared about me. But he said he could not leave his wife. It started out, I'm going to wait until the kids gone. Kids got grown and gone. Then he said, I can't leave her now. And I'm telling you, it took 4 years, almost 5 years, working with her to let it go. And when she found, because I knew that even when I was talking with her, I knew she would leave him alone for about 6 months, sometimes 7 months. He would call her out of the blue, and I told her to do not accept the phone call from him. He would call her, she would be weak, and I miss him, and it was my birthday, and so he just called and told me happy birthday. He didn't want to call and tell her happy birthday. He wanted to see her birthday suit. And then she would call me crying. Well, I done slept with him, and I feel so bad. I feel awful. I can't believe I did it. I said, because you are still connected to him. I know people who haven't seen a man in 10 years. This is why you have to be careful about your first love. The person that you first loved, that you slept with. Now I'm getting all off my topic now. You cannot see them for 10 years. Show up in town, call you out of the blue, and you can sleep with them because you're still connected to them. You have to allow God to pull the root out of your spirit, out of your heart. I've got to say this, and then I've got to let you guys go because I didn't want this to be this long. This is what I tell people. Now, some people don't like it, and it's okay. It's okay, but I've had a lot of people that don't like what I'm getting ready to say, and some don't agree with me. I've always told every person that I have counseled who is dating a married person, when they come to me, I always tell them, give them back everything that they gave you. Give them back everything that they gave you. Either give it back or give it away, or something. Don't keep it in your house, because that's the enemy's way of keeping that soul tie, that connection. Because when you see those pictures that y'all took, you start reminiscing. You start thinking, he bought me this dress. So every time you wear that dress, you're thinking about him. And the longer you think about them, the more you're going to want to be with them. Get rid of everything. You don't need it. If you're going to sever the relationship, sever it. You have to do, some of y'all need to do a burial. We need to do a relationship burial. And bury these people emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Bury them. Grieve their loss. Grieve the fact that you allowed it to happen, so that you can appropriately move on with no strings attached. If not, and I know what some of y'all finna post, Dr. Capehart, some of these people gonna go dig them back up. And they will. And they probably will. But it takes time to get them out of your spirit. Relationships is a connection. Guys, that's how God created us. All right? All right. I'll do this again as soon as I can. So I pray that this helps somebody. If this helped you or someone that you know that may be going through this, why did you have that opinion? Why did I have what opinion? Mike? Is that Mike? What? I don't know what opinion you were referring to. I've just talked about 40 minutes here, so I don't know. You have to tell me what opinion you're talking about. But share this with someone that may be going through this. She said she counseled her for almost 5 years, not 20 years. No, I didn't counsel her for 20 years. She was in the affair for 20 years. And when I met her, I think she had already been in the affair for 15 years. And by the time I was able to get her out, it had been a total of 20 years. Okay? And she got free. She got free, and I know that she's free. She got totally free. And I'm so proud of her. So proud of her. But there are still days, and she's not in a relationship right now, but there are still days that she will tell me how lonely she is. But she does not call him. She does not accept any calls from him. It is over. All right? About married affairs. Why do I have the opinion about married affairs? First of all, because I believe that married affairs are wrong, if that's what you're talking about. And I believe that if you are married, you should not be messing around with anybody else. And I'm also going to do a topic on, because some people don't agree with me, but I'm going to share this with you, and we'll talk in a later one on this one. I believe that emotional affairs is just as devastating as physical affairs. I don't think that you always have to sleep with someone to cheat on your mate, because I believe that emotional affairs are worse than a physical affair, because you can sleep with somebody physically and not necessarily be attached to them. But emotional affairs, I mean, you are locked in there, baby. You are locked into that thing. And so I want to talk about emotional affairs, because most men think, well, I didn't sleep with nobody. I ain't slept with her. But you are emotionally attached to her. You are thinking about her when you're with your wife. You are calling her and texting her and talking all times of night, fantasizing about her. You are emotionally attached. And emotional affairs, now you can tell when you're having an emotional affair with somebody when you over there fixing their car and your wife's car is broke down, but you over there fixing hers. Especially with a woman you hadn't slept with yet. You emotionally invested. So we're going to talk about that. All right. So guys, yes, cheating starts in the mind, Rosie. All right. You guys be blessed. Share this with someone. I pray that I said something tonight that's going to encourage you. And let me just say this. Let me just end this with a little prayer tonight. Let me just end this with a little prayer tonight, because some of you tonight may be in affairs, may be in a relationship, and you know the person is married. Maybe some of you may be in a relationship that you know that you got into that relationship on the rebound of being married. Some of you may be speculating that the person that you are in a relationship with is married. I want to pray with you tonight that you drop it. But you're going to have help. You will not be able to let it go without God, without prayer, without fasting, without accountability. Most of the people that I work with, I hold them accountable by calling them, by checking on them until they get past the critical stage where we know and can rest assured you have to not only delete their phone out of their number out of your phone. For many, you have to change your phone number. You have to block them. And blocking them from that particular number doesn't necessarily mean they won't contact you. You've got to block them off Facebook. You've got to block them off all social media. If you really truly want to be free. Because if not, you'll just be sitting up, and on those lonely days, he's gonna be all in your inbox, and then he's gonna be all in your house. All in your room. You're going to be meeting him at the hotel, the motel, the back seat, or somewhere. If you really want to be free, you have got to have accountability. And accountability has to be someone that you trust. Block them, but then you also have to have someone accountable too that can help you block them. By calling and saying, today is a day I feel like I want to call them. I feel like I want to be with them today. You got to have somebody accountable that you can trust with your heart, trust with, that that's not going to share it with anybody, that's not going to look down on you. I've never looked down on people that I counsel, no matter what they tell me. And listen, I have walked people through some crazy situations. I've never, ever looked down on someone. Why? I walked them through. That's my assignment, that's my call, and that's my mandate. If people feel that you're going to criticize them and judge them, they will never come to you. And so they're looking for someone to say, how do I get out? How do I walk through this? He's showing up at my job. He's saying he can't live without me. How do I end it? I've fallen in love with him. How do I let it go? Those are the kind of things. I'm telling you. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy. It's not easy, especially if you're emotionally invested. It is not easy. Okay? I pray tonight that I said something to help you. I'm closing this like I close my sermons. This is about the third, fourth time I've closed this. So I pray tonight that something was said. Go back, send it, share it. I'll come back again. I can't come on tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a really, really busy day. But I may try to come back on Friday. And I probably can't do it Saturday. I'm ministering Saturday. But I will try to come back on Friday afternoon. And if you guys want me to come back on and talk about this, I prefer you not to inbox me your questions unless they are serious questions. I've gotten where lately my inbox is just loaded And so I'm trying to be very, I kind of try to read the first line. If it doesn't look like it's a major something, I just kind of don't answer it, or I don't even click it on, because sometimes you get a few little people that just want to just waste your time. So if you guys want me to come back on, share it on your page, and if enough people respond, I'll come back on Friday afternoon. God bless you. Have a